MassArt's Furniture Design Certificate offers an education in fine furniture, craft, and design. You develop skills in handcraft woodworking, machine techniques, metal fabrication, and alternative materials. Required studio courses provide a foundation in essential skill, and electives direct the student's course of study based on interests and goals. So there's a lot of classes you all take together and a little bit of room for choice to take electives in areas of your own interest. It's a 2.5 year program. Right now, all of our classes take place on evenings. We have a Friday afternoon class. We have one Saturday class. But it's definitely built for busy lives. A lot of our students work full time while they're in the program. And let's see, here's a little window into our wood shop. As you can see, it's quite spacious. It's honestly one of the best school wood shops I've ever been in. It's a lot of room to really spread out. We share this space with the architecture students, sculpture students, students in all different programs. That cross-pollination is really nice. And if you ever want to come see this shop, definitely reach out. I'm happy to show you around a little bit. Here's a window into some of our other studios. As I mentioned from the top, there's room for electives in your course of study. Here's a window into our printmaking studio, fibers, the metal shop, ceramics. So I'll run through your course of study a little bit. In your first semester, you jump right in with fundamentals of woodworking. This is a super in-depth class where you learn our shop inside and out. You learn a lot of really excellent hand skills, machine skills, joinery. You typically build a box or two in this class, one that's more following a plan and one that's more your own design. Here's an example of one of those boxes. And here are a few more. These are all student projects that have been done in woodworking fundamentals. And some proud students with those boxes. In your first semester, you also take a design class. Here on the left, you can see a little model that was made early on in a first semester for one of our former students, Stephen Thrasher, and what that later went on to become, the piece underneath. So you do a lot of sketching, 3D model making, really sort of trying to pin down your own personal style through the course of this class, and you learn how to build shop plans and all that sort of thing. Here's another example of a model from that class turned into a future furniture piece. And another one, we love tiny furniture samples around here. In your second semester, you move on to furniture one. You build a case and a stand, a little bit of room for your own design in here, but you're covering both stick and case joinery through the course of building this project. Here's another example of one of those projects, and another. And a class full of projects, just about done. These ones are, 90% of the way there. You also take an elective in your second semester. A lot of students opt for a class like welding, pairs really nicely with furniture design. People take classes in the foundry, again, ceramics, all over. Here are some examples of works sort of inspired from elective courses. On the right, there's two cast pieces that students made in foundry classes. On the left, you can see a weaving sample. This is also Stephen Thrasher's actually, but you can see how this sculptural weaving class taught by Natalie Maybach then inspired future work of Stephen's with the wood woven table right underneath it. In furniture two, you move into more complex furniture projects. You start to really build some of the things that you designed in concept to object. We sort of slowly start to remove parameters and let you go a little crazy in these upper level classes. You also take an applied techniques class this semester, which gives you a great tour of a lot of specialty techniques. You take a few weeks of carving, a few weeks of steam bending, a few weeks of bent lamination, a few weeks of turning. Every time we run it, it's slightly different, but it's broken into modules, and you typically have like 4 or 5 different faculty that specialize in these techniques that come through and work with you. Here are some students doing some free form bending from a run we did a while back. Here's another steam bending sample. So the class is really rooted in learning these techniques and also doing a lot of material exploration to sort of push the boundaries of these traditional techniques. Um, in semester 4, you take a project development class. You're sort of building towards your final body of work. So you're diving back into the root of those design skills, making another piece of furniture, or even beginning what will become your final project, if your final project is something as ambitious that it would take 2 semesters, which does happen sometimes. You have a chance for another elective in the semester, which you can take really in any corner of the school. And then in your final semester, you just have one class that you take, so you can focus on the furniture final project. I'll also say that a lot of students at some point opt to only take one class a semester. You can finish this in 2.5 years if you stay this track. A lot of students choose to take one class a semester and take a much slower road. Kind of depends on your workload and pace and your personal schedule. In the end, you would do a final show where you show your body of work. There's also opportunity to show pieces you make along the way. Here's here's the last 3 shows we've had for the department. We do an annual showcase. We have one, or here's a bird's eye view. We always do this in MassArt's Duran Gallery. This is a bird's eye view of Not Your Granny's Rocker. And then the same show on our opening night. So we have another show that we started installing today, actually, and that opens next week. This year's show is called Cut Once, and this will show all the current student work, alumni, faculty, staff who work in the program. We have a couple BFA students also participating. So I would encourage you all to come. Our reception is next Thursday from 5 to 8 p.m. I'll drop a link in the chat at the end of the presentation for our event page. A little bit about our faculty. Here are a few folks currently teaching in the program. Heather Dawson teaches Furniture 1. I've taught a bunch of these different classes over the years. I've taught Concept to Object, Fundamentals. Frank Crishone is currently teaching Concept to Object. He's a great designer, local fabricator. Rachel Prentke, you have in your first semester also. She teaches Woodworking Fundamentals currently. Oliver Strand is currently teaching our more advanced classes, and Ellen Adams taught carving and shaping this past semester. And here's some examples of work. Clearly, I need to get a picture of Oliver, but you know, for now you can look at 2 of his chairs. If you're wondering what you will make in the program, here's some examples of past students. You can see everyone really develops their own style. We really push that in the design classes to create furniture that is unique to you and create a final collection that is cohesive. And so here you can see the work of Stephen Thrasher, Joe Sheehan. Joe actually also teaches in the program now. Mario Davila, Adi Kitov, Richard Burns, Liz Welch. So really wildly different styles from all of our students. And we're very here to support whatever your vision is. A lot of this information is also on the website, but you can apply right on the website. And I will say the application is really just a formality. I think it freaks a lot of people out, but it's just a chance to get to know you. If you don't, there's an option to put in a portfolio. You don't have to include one. There's no expectation. We teach you from the ground up. Sometimes it's helpful if you've tried woodworking to know if you like it before joining. But even if you have other drawings or some other art form you want to show, or if you don't have images, that's also fine. There's also the statement of purpose, just to sort of like give us a view into who you are. But the we look at the applications as they come in. The application window opens February 1st. Joe was just saying how February 1st is a Saturday this year, so it might end up being the 3rd, but I think the 1st. Applications open soon. They're open till June, but as soon as you apply, we'll review it and get back to you shortly. Um, let's see. This is a bit about the cost. These numbers are also on the website. These are our current numbers for this coming year. And if you're wondering if you can visit, definitely you can do that. I have in our last slide here how you can stay in touch. You can always reach out to the general CE email. I'll also put my email, our Instagram handle, and our website, but don't hesitate to reach out with any questions. If you can make the opening, definitely come by and introduce yourself. If you can't make the opening and want to arrange the show will be open for a few weeks, so you can also come by during the day, but if you'd like to meet as well, I'm happy to do that. And again, if we plan a meeting, I'm also happy to bring you down to the wood shop so you can see those facilities as well. So I will at this point stop sharing, and the three of us can